For most of history, retirement wasn't even a thing. It's a modern invention. Born in the 1930s with Social Security, perfected by pensions, and then completely reengineered by the 401k. But now that system, the one meant to protect you, may actually be holding you back. Because what most people don't realize is that buried inside many 401k plans is a powerful, almost hidden feature, one that could give you more investment control, flexibility, and even professional management without moving a single dollar out of your 401k.
And welcome everybody to Your Retirement Elevated. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Scott Dugan. And on this podcast and on this YouTube channel, we try to help you plan a little bit smarter and a little bit better for your retirement future and for your finances. And yeah, we're lasering in on this idea of retirement, Scott. And I kind of like this zoomed out idea of retirement being sort of this new thing that we're getting used to. You know, I've always known about retirement since I was young, but you don't have to go back very far before this was a foreign concept.
Oh, definitely. And actually go even back further, it started in Germany to retire older, more mature, Army officers and to make way for the ranks. And so it made its way over to the United States. And really the reason we're talking about this 401k today, we're in retirement planning. Most people are, right in retirement, getting ready for it right on the 20-yard line or 10-yard line or beyond. But what we're seeing, especially with the children of our clients, they're still working, they're still contributing to their 401k. And so we get questions or asked all the time, hey, what can you do to help out our kids that are still working to maximize, their retirement? And so I thought, let's talk about what the brief history of retirement, but also let's talk about what are some of the things you might be able to take advantage of while you're still working. And so again, that brief history of retirement, 1930s, Social Security was birthed. Life expectancy was much lower than the collection age, so fewer people even collected it.
Yeah. Put that in perspective, right? You were expected to essentially die before you could actually claim it.
Yeah, the numbers balanced out pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you've got that 1950s, 1970s, corporate pensions emerged, and that really provided a reliable income for loyal employees. You've heard that term, you retire 40 years, get the company watch and the pension. That was that 50s through the 70s. And then the 1980s, the 401k revolution began, and control shifted from companies to the individual. Now, the 401k was meant to empower workers, but decades later, many feel trapped by it and really don't feel like they've got the certainty that they really need to go confidently into retirement.
The thing that really strikes me here is that we're not talking about that long ago. I mean, we're talking about the 50s to the 70s even. I mean, my parents' generation is when that first started kind of coming out. Some of these major reforms like pensions, I would have thought that that's been around a long time ago and much, older. So I don't know, that's a unique perspective, realizing just how new some of this stuff is on the grand scale of time.
Yeah. And if you think about that timing of post-World War II, and you've got, baby boomer generations, really burgeoning industry, corporations. And it's like, hey, how do we take care of these people? So, hey, if you put in your time, you get your paycheck, you get a pension check, and then you add that to your Social Security check, and you're good. So really, as long as you, the employee, showed up, did your job, put in your time, when you left paid work and retired, you could have mailbox money coming in. And so you didn't have to save this giant chunk of money that you had to figure out how to turn it into a paycheck. And that's the really what people are looking at today. And really the 401k problem is we've shifted the burden of funding and investing and figuring out how much you need to the employee. And if you look at most 401ks, most of them have 20 to 25 investment choices, half of which are oftentimes target date funds. And reason employers limit choices to reduce their liability. That's really what they're doing, not necessarily to maximize your opportunity inside of that account. Now, you can't choose your own manager or strategy inside those walls. And so for many savers, a 401k feels less like a freedom plan and more like a cage that they're locked up into.
Yeah, it's not just one problem, right? With the shift to the 401k, multiple issues start to pop up. One big one being it kind of with the pensions and Social Security, it's not optional. Those are pretty much mandatory or done for you programs where the 401k, you got to opt in. You got to raise your hand. You got to say, I want to do this. You have to keep those contributions going. And that forced savings, that disappearing, I think had long reaching impacts in addition to some of the nuances that you're going to talk about inside the 401k.
Oh, absolutely. And you think about that, the shift of saying, we know that we've put this on autopilot for a substantial chunk of the population, and now we're going to put it on you to do it. And we know you may not have any investment history or any knowledge that you've been taught, but you just need to figure it out. And so really the thing that's popped up and has been something that people are starting to discover is an option called the self-directed brokerage account, or SDBA. You know how this industry loves acronyms.
Oh, yeah.
The self-directed brokerage account is an option for some of the 401k plans that are out there. And really, it's a built-in feature of many 401k plans, but again, it's rarely talked about or advertised. But what it does is it allows you to opt out of the preset fund menu and access a full brokerage platform, the universe of investments. So you keep all of the tax benefits, the employer match, and the protection of your 401k, but you can invest in professionally managed portfolios, ETFs. You can do tactical management, defensive strategies, all those things that really aren't part of the menu of the standard 401k plan. So really, it's like discovering your 401k has a secret door, one that leads to far more potential opportunity with your investment choices.
Yeah, I would imagine that a lot of our viewers may not even know that this is a thing inside of their plans, or don't know if theirs is eligible for it or not. But to play devil's advocate for a minute, Scott, I mean, what's the big deal? More options. Okay, that sounds nice, but maybe that's just going to confuse me more, right? So why is this kind of a big thing that matters to folks?
Well, more choices means potential for better diversification and risk management. I think that's very important. There's very little risk management available besides going to more conservative investments inside the 401k. So professional management can reduce emotional mistakes, and it may be the missing piece for people who feel stuck with those cookie cutter portfolios. And if you're a younger investor, greater growth potential through expanded fund access, but still inside a tax advantage plan is very powerful. So really that SDBA, or self-directed brokerage account, can turn your 401k from a basic savings plan into a true wealth building engine.
Is your retirement strategy working as hard as you are? Get the answers you deserve with Elevated Retirement Group's information-packed toolkit. Inside, you'll get Scott's book, Exceptional Retirement, along with essential insights covering the 5 key areas of retirement planning, strategies to keep more of your hard-earned money, and how to choose your winning retirement team. Take control of your retirement today. Click the link in today's show description to claim your toolkit at no cost to you.
Well, I've never heard of a secret door that didn't come with some caveats in the story, Scott. So what are maybe some of the things to be aware of if somebody's interested in exploring that further?
Well, what you have to watch out for is, number one, not all plans offer the SDBA. So you've got to check with your HR or your plan administrator. So that's step one.
So don't get too excited until you check that part, right?
Correct. And our advisors are very proficient on helping you do that. We've got a list, actually a national list of ones that we know that have it, but we're discovering more and more every week that do have that option. Now, some SDBA providers charge a small trading or custodial fee, so you need to factor that into the equation. And you've got to choose your investments wisely, because not every fund fits your goals or your timeline. And that's where
the one where more options doesn't necessarily mean better if you don't know what you're doing.
Correct. Actually, what we're finding is over the years, we've attracted a group of clients in the logistic fields. And that's UPS, FedEx, DHL, because all of those have the SDBA option, or that, inside of there. And a lot of people that reach out to us, because we've got an SDBA toolkit that we provide for anyone that is looking at the option. A lot of people come to us and they already have it opened up. They've got it turned on. They've gone through the process, but have never used it. And to your point, Walter, they open this up. It's like, great, all these options. Well, now what? And that leads to procrastination and just not doing anything with it. So that's where working with a fiduciary advisor can help ensure that your strategy aligns with your retirement plans and goals. And that's what our advisors do, is going to say, here's the universe of things that are available to you. Let's build a total plan that's appropriate for your situation. And so again, I can't stress that it's one thing to have the SDBA, it's the other to execute it correctly. And in most cases, if you have an advisor that can help you with that, they're going to help you design that plan, and more importantly, keep you on track when things get a little shaky.
Well, take us under the hood at Elevated Retirement Group and just detail for us briefly, Scott, how you then manage all of this for your clients, not only working with them on other accounts, but investigating this SDBA and how that fits into the overall planning process.
And like I said before, we've helped many of our clients. Either the children of our clients help discover there's an SDBA option, or again, we get referrals and introductions all the time to, hey, I heard so-and-so is working with you on the SDBA. Like UPS as an example. Hey, we'd like to talk to you about that as well. So what it's really allowing them to do is giving them an option to take control of their retirement future without leaving their 401k, without leaving that plan. And our process is, once you reach out, we provide what's called an SDBA toolkit that really breaks down the benefits and some of the options that you have. Also wrote a book that's designed for the logistics industry, but is applicable to almost anyone that has a 401k and SDBA. They call in. We either, if you do it on your end, investigate, do you have an SDBA, or we can help you do that. If you do have one, helping you set that up correctly and get that activated, because they're all different. And it's not always streamlined, but we've gotten through it, and we've got a good process we walk it through. And then we take you through the process of building a retirement plan and building the investment allocation that fits your current situation. And so that's usually the first call is a 15-minute phone call or a Zoom to walk through what your options are. And again, once we get that activated, we're setting the plan, we're keeping everything in between the guardrails, and now you've got someone on your side to help you guide you to and through retirement.
It's excellent, Scott, and appreciate your guidance through this topic on today's show. And if you've got any questions as you watch today or listen to the episode on your favorite podcasting app, don't hesitate to reach out. Again, we've got a link in the description of today's show where you can book a call with the team and go through that discovery process to see if you'd be a great fit to work with one another. You can tap into the great knowledge of all of the fantastic advisors at Elevated Retirement Group. Again, click that link in the description of today's show to explore, learn more, and schedule that conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe today's video if you're watching on YouTube so that it can reach others and help them prepare for retirement. And Scott, thank you for all your help today. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. For Scott, I'm Walter. We'll see you next time right back here on Your Retirement Elevated.
Are you on the path to retirement but feel uncertain about your direction? Don't let myths and misconceptions cloud your journey. Before stepping into a lengthy retirement, gain clarity and confidence with a complimentary financial review. Schedule a conversation with Scott Dugan. It's completely free. Just click the link in the description below or call us at 913-393-4724. Let's start a conversation about what's most important to you as you plan for a successful retirement.
This podcast has been prepared for educational and marketing purposes only. The information in this video is general in nature, does not constitute personalized investment advice, and does not provide a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. All investments involve risk, and different types of investments involve varying degrees of risk. There can be no assurance that any specific investment strategy will be profitable or suitable to you. Additionally, although information presented in this podcast is believed to be factual and up to date, we do not guarantee its accuracy. You should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation and should consult a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies mentioned in this video. Investment advisory services are offered through Elevated Capital Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC. Registration as an investment advisor does not constitute an endorsement of Elevated Capital Advisors LLC by securities regulators, nor does it indicate that the firm has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Insurance advice and products may be offered by a third-party insurance producer, which may be affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC and Elevated Capital Advisors LLC. Walter Storholt, Mark Killian, and Third Wheel Media LLC are not clients of Elevated Capital Advisors. They receive cash compensation for their assistance in preparing and hosting this podcast, and for providing the endorsement contained in this podcast. Because Walter, Mark, and Third Wheel Media are compensated in connection with this podcast, they have a material conflict of interest in providing their endorsement.